Good morning and welcome back to Twisted Shadow. Today was the healer. And so going deep into that, thinking about healing, there's a couple of things that I don't think we talk about as much, but maybe we should. First off, healing when it comes to how we do it. Not so much the mechanics, but in the approach. So coming from a medical background and that environment, I saw a difference between when we actually healed the problem or went to heal the problem versus slapping a Band-Aid on. So, and I don't mean like a literal Band-Aid. I just mean in the fact that we treat symptoms, we treat the surface stuff that's bothering, but we're not really getting to the root problem of why it keeps happening. And so if we don't go to the root when we're healing, if we don't start healing from that point going forward, and all we're doing is surface stuff to take care of the things that are immediately bothering us, then we're going to constantly have to be changing that Band-Aid. And so it's something to think about. It's easier to do the surface, put the Band-Aid on and be like, I'll come back to this later. But how often do we come back to it later and actually dig out that wound and clean it and so it can heal properly? So that's one thing to think about. The other is we always think of healing as an action, something we have to be actively, consciously doing. That's not always the case. I mean, there's healing when we just rest, when we just, give our body, our mind, our spirit, our soul, the time to rest and re-energize. And that is an important part of healing. We're so action-oriented that we think we have to be doing something. And in essence, you are kind of doing this something, but it's not an action per se. It's in inaction. It's in rest. So for me, as all of you know, I've been doing this really massive bridge spell with my ancestors. And this morning, we wrapped up the very last part of one of the spells within it. It's a very long spell ritual type spell that we're doing with the bridge spell. And so there's all these little spells and components within it. And so we just finished up one last night, and I think we're all kind of tired. I think we're exhausted. And my ancestors were like, we need a day of rest. We need to recharge. And so I think that's what we're doing today. I got instructions for the next part that we'll be starting. But I think today is just a day of rest. And tomorrow we will get up and we will start working on all the components for this next part. So yeah, that's my healing today. My healing is going to be in rest. What will yours be?